guys, it's Kelly. I'm going to share a quick tutorial with you about alcohol inks and a new background. I think it's really unique. I don't see anybody else doing it, and it's one of my favorites. So what you do, you just get a tag. You can get whatever shape you'd want, but I'm just using a tag for the tutorial. And I cover the entire thing with embossing ink and cover it really, really thick because you're going to want to get a lot of embossing powder on there. You don't want to use UD. It blows everywhere. The plain clear embossing powder works best for this, and I'll show you that. But your tag's going to curl when you put your embossing ink on there, so it's a little tricky. So using a big tub and just pouring all your embossing powder in there, I found that works best, and you waste the least amount of powder. So you just manipulate around there. There's no perfect way to do it. Let it be uneven. Let it be really thick in some areas and not thick in others. And you just pull that out, lay it down. Some really thin tipped tweezers really help with this, just to hold it in place without getting rid of the embossing powder. So then you just emboss it, just heat it up real good. Spend a little extra time on the areas that's a little bit thicker, and don't stress about bubbles. Bubbles are fantastic because when we put the inks on it later, they cause some really cool effects. So bubbles are your friends here. I mean, don't even worry about it. You can't really do this wrong. You just heat it up and go with it. So, and be careful, don't touch it right after you're done heating it up. For those that haven't embossed before with the embossing powders, it's really, really hot. So be careful. And again, I wouldn't recommend using UD. You can, there's nothing, you can still use that, but it tends to crack. Some people, I mean, if you want that cracked effect and ink behind it, that could be a really, really cool effect. But again, just clear embossing powder is working well for me to do a large background like this. So, and if you notice, like on the corners there where the embossing powder was thicker than in others, I noticed it was still kind of cloudy. Just heat it up again, and that just melts it, and it's a little bit more even. So then you get your alcohol blending solution in all of your alcohol inks and start playing with your colors. It's whatever colors you'd like. I used all kinds of different colors. I used streamed, I used sunshine yellow, I think I might have used currant. I'm not really sure everything that I used. There was one bottle one, I think. It's a new one. But all kinds of, just choose whatever colors you want. And you have a couple options. This option that I'm doing for the tutorials, I'm putting it straight on the tag. Obviously it's nice and cool, so you can do that. The other option is to put a bunch of ink dots on your nonstick craft sheet. Definitely, by the way, do not do this without your nonstick craft sheet. You have to have that to protect your work surface. So, but I just randomly put colors on there that I like, and then throw the blending solution on there, and you can see it quickly starts turning around. You can swirl it around like I did here, but then that tends to mix them all together, and as you can see, my tag got really dark. I wanted that for this, actually. That's exactly what I wanted, just to swirl them around, because then the colors will bleed out later, and I'll show you how. It looks like they're all blended in the video, and they kind of are, but you can still see specific colors in there. So after you put your first colors on, if it's not exactly what you like, that's fine. Heat it up again. Reactivate that embossing powder, and then it starts soaking in the alcohol ink, and colors start changing and colors start moving around. So just reheat it and then get your other colors out. I liked the really dark background in this one because I knew I was going to use the snow cap mixative, and that snow cap mixative you want to shake up really, really well. There's a mixing ball in there. It's very, very concentrated. It's opaque, so you want to just use very little. So I just put it down on my nonstick craft sheet, put some blending solution on there, and just started smearing it around. I really wanted that marbly type effect. I really like how the white mixative looks with that dark background. So I just start putting the blending solution on, because that's gonna thin it up a little bit. It's alcohol, so it dries really fast. So, and you can obviously, you want to that's just baby wipe, because I know I'm not ready to clean it yet because I'm not done. But rubbing alcohol, plain cheap rubbing alcohol, is the best to clean up your alcohol inks off your nonstick craft sheet. So there I just added some yellow. I wanted more yellow on there, and then again more blending solution and swirling it around and just playing with it. Just keep playing with it until you get the color combination that you like. And then I believe this is the last color I wound up adding in a stream. Yeah. And the blotting effect is really good. I put the blending solution right on top, and this time I'm blotting it, and I really like how that looks. And my nonstick craft sheet was still just a tiny bit damp from the baby wipe, and it wound up working out really well. So you don't usually want to add water to it, but just one little squirt of water will totally change the way those alcohol inks are going to work. So, and then heat it up again. You can heat this up as many times as you want. There's no end to it. Heat it up as many times as you want and add as many different colors as you want. So when you see the bubbles happening there, that's good. Let it happen. There's nothing wrong with it. But look how the colors change, and they blend together and they mix, and then it's got that really neat shine to it. It's not completely, totally glossy. It's kind of glossy, but so there you go. You just heat it up, and I popped a couple bubbles on there because they were just a little bit too big. So, and look at that. It reminds me of the pictures that you get from NASA that are of like a galaxy far, far away. That is what that reminds me of. So, and then also, if the edges crack later in these pictures, the upper left-hand corner, some of the thick embossing powder cracked off, and I just peeled it right off, and look how cool that still looks. So, play with it. I hope you will get your alcohol inks out and your embossing powder out and give it a shot and do a video response so I can see what you guys are doing, and if you come up with something new, I'd just be really interested to see who starts doing this. Thank you.